Hey guys. Okay, so we're going to try this again. So I wanted to get on here and just kind of talk about my experience with like rules around food because in the past, I mean like most people, I used to have just an array of rules of like, for example, like when I could eat, like when I could have breakfast, or like what I would eat or what I couldn't eat, how long I had to fast for, just like, how much protein and, carb and fat in a meal. Like I'd had all these rules around food, and it made food like, it just made things really hard and really, just kind of exhausting. Like it was always on my mind, like, oh, I have to fast like 16 hours. And so it's like, oh, when am I going to eat next? Or, what am I going to eat? And, oh, did I eat enough earlier? Did I eat too much earlier? Like, what should I have? Like, I used to just be so obsessed with just all the noise about food because of like, that's what we've been taught, like we've just been taught like there's a certain way to eat. And, you got to have so much protein, you got to have so much carb, you got to have so much fat, and like you should fast for like 16 hours and like don't eat before you work out, and like just so much freaking noise. It's like I don't even like to like think about it, like gets back in there because I just want to keep it clean. I just want my head to be like clean and clear, I don't want all that crap, like all those like those rules around food. And yeah, and so for example, like one thing that I used to always do is I was like, okay, I can't eat until I've done my workout, I've done my meditation, and it's like 10 a.m. It's like this idea like the like fasting for like 15, 16 hours or something like that. And the thing about that is when I tried to abide by a certain set of rules, I felt really, really shitty, like because for example, like this morning, I was really hungry. And like if I were to continue to like follow a set of rules around food, what that meant was just like I was going to spend all morning feeling really shitty and like low energy and thinking about when I could eat, and then it like by the time I could eat, which was like 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. or something like that, I would freaking just shovel food in because I had waited so long instead of listening to actually what I wanted to, how I felt and giving myself what I needed in that moment. And as a result, I would eat a ton of food at once. And I typically like, because I did that so much, so often, I typically, would, or like I would go for so long like without without food, or like not listening to my hunger cues. I would typically just kind of reach for something that was the most convenient, like a protein bar or anything that was like immediate satisfaction, and fast. And so I like ended up making poor choices, and those poor choices led to more poor choices, and that led me to feeling like I needed to not eat, like I needed to fast longer, and that I needed to work out harder. I mean, it was just a fucking shit show, guys. It was a shit show. And I lived like that for a really long time. Like it was the worst probably when I was like 25 to 35. And yeah, and it just meant that like I just never really felt good. And not only did I not feel good, but I was always obsessing over food and working out, and it was just no way to live life, man. But the thing is that we think that that's like that's the way it has to be, like that there's like some special way we should eat, like some length of time we need to not eat. And like, oh, I've got to have a protein, a carb, and a fat. I've got to have the balanced meal every single time. And it's just so fucking shitty, man. What I've realized through my experience of, being in the health and fitness world for, man, 17 years, the more rules, the worse it gets. Like if you have any rules around food, the only rule should be I eat because I love myself, because I want to take care of myself. And that means that you should be listening to how you're feeling at all times. If your body is hungry, if you feel low energy, or if you really feel like, like you need food for energy and strength, eat. Doesn't mean you have to have a whole meal. Doesn't mean you have to have a protein, carb, fat, and and hit macros and all that shit. Just have something like and feel in what do I feel like would support me best based on what I have coming up right now? Like for me, I was hungry this morning, so I made a whole meal. Am I going to eat the whole thing? I don't know. I'm going to kind of feel into how I feel as I eat it. And I know that, I've got like kind of some computer work and some client calls coming up, and I want to feel like light and clear, but I also want to feel satisfied. So I'm probably going to eat more veggies. The chicken, we'll see how much chicken I have, I don't want to feel heavy. So it's like, there's no set amount like, oh, I need to have this whole meal, or I need to have this whole yogurt or, whatever. I just feel into like, as I'm eating, like, oh, how do I feel? And what's the way I want to feel, moving forward with my day. So it's just my biggest recommendation. And this is what I teach with my clients. Like, we want to get rid of all the rules. All the rules should go away. The more you can get those rules to go away around how much food and when to eat and, what to eat and blah, 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 the more, the less tension there is, the less stress there is, and the more easier this becomes. But you have to learn how to actually feel and trust yourself. And that's the problem, is that most people don't trust themselves because we've been so attached to diets for so long, like all these food rules. And the thing is that those diet rules are the thing that's causing you to need the diet rules. Like, it's the reason why we feel out of control. It's the reason why, we end up binging, or we overeat like a whole meal, or we go for shit food because we believe that 16 hours is like some magical number that we need to hit every single day. I'm not saying that like fasting is bad. I'm just saying, if you don't feel like you need food, don't eat. Hell, that might be 24 hours, right? Like that might be 18 hours, whatever, but don't attach yourself to some freaking rule, because as soon as you do that, you negate and neglect the way that you feel, because you think that there's this rule is like the way, and it keeps you from listening and trusting yourself. So it's like, we literally got to clean out all the rules that we've been taught, clean slate, and learn how to feel in the body. How do I feel? Do I, and like, hey, maybe I've got like, I'm going to be working really hard for the next 6 hours. I'm not going to be, have time to eat. Okay. That means I'm going to have, probably a bigger meal right now, so I can have the energy for that. Or maybe I have half the meal, but I take like a bar to go, so it's like, or maybe I'm not doing anything today. Maybe today I feel like I just really need to rest and I need to meditate and just walk. Okay. Like, maybe I'm going to keep food really light then. Right now I don't feel like I really need food. So it's like, maybe you hardly eat anything that day. That's okay. But then maybe the next day you actually eat a lot more, and you eat at 6 a.m. It's like you only, you only have like an 8-hour gap between the last time you ate dinner and breakfast. Like, that's okay. But we've fucked ourselves, like, just with all this shit in the mind around like, there's like how a special way to eat. But if you actually just start to listen and feel and trust yourself, you'll notice it comes from a place of self-love, like self-care. Like, I listen to myself because I care about myself and I want to feel really good. And when you start to do that, when you start to align yourself with self-love, right, with trust and love, you naturally start to just eat exactly what you need and the foods that you feel like are going to give you the best energy, that are going to support you the best. But if you align yourself with fear, which is where most of the health and fitness industry is at, right, that's where, because the fear of getting fat, fear that food's going to make me fat, fear of like, I don't know, like just fear of like having like digestion problems and all of that stuff. Like, when you drive from a place of fear, it makes you set up all these rules, and it ends up creating more problems, and it doesn't allow you to listen to yourself and really take care of yourself. It's like you're just operating from a place of fear and self-hate, and like it just doesn't allow you to really bridge that gap from like trusting yourself and taking care of yourself. You literally have to become the embodiment of, I love and take care of myself, and I trust myself. And that means that I allow myself to eat whenever I feel like I need it. And because I'm aligning behind the feeling of self-love, like taking care of myself and appreciating myself and listening to myself, then I, it's like, I just lost my train of thought, but I allow myself to eat as much as I need, and I feel good. And I'm like, I only eat half the meal. I only eat as much as I need. But again, the whole reason why I'm able to do that is because I come from a feeling space and a self-love space, Whereas fear and all the rules are going to make you just freaking like shovel food in your mouth and make you feel out of control. So long rant, but I wanted to share that because I like was making my breakfast this morning, and it was just so nice to like know that I can eat whenever I want and I can eat whatever I want. But because I align behind self-love and trust, I like the junk food doesn't appeal to me because I want to feel good, And so it was just really, it just hit me this morning. I was like, damn, like I used to like freaking, like nail bite, and like white knuckle my way to like 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. before I could eat. And as a result of me like forcing myself to wait for so long, I'd be starving. I'd be ravenous and I'd scarf my food down. I wouldn't even be able to enjoy it. And then I'd want sugar and carbs and stuff like that. And it's like, it's crazy, man, because I was driving from that place of fear and not trusting myself, right? Like fear of getting fat. And that's why I needed all those rules. So it comes from learning how you have to train yourself to love yourself. Maybe for the first time ever. I know for me it was. And learning how to appreciate yourself and take care of yourself. And from that point, everything changes. All the intuitive eating, the wanting to move, taking care of yourself, it all starts to flow in naturally. So anyways, I just thought I'd share that. I know it's super long. If you guys have any questions, like definitely reach out to me. Like this is what I teach inside Conscious Fitness is I teach you how to come from a place of love. I teach you how to take care of yourself. I teach you how to eat, move, rest from a place of love. And as soon as you start to do that, like the body starts to form into what you want naturally. The next round of Conscious Fitness is actually going to be starting in like a month. Super exciting. I'm only taking on 5 girls. So if you are, if this is like kind of next level dieting, it's not really dieting. It's just learning how to like take care of yourself and love yourself. And the weight loss is a byproduct. So it's like self-love is the focus. Weight loss is the byproduct. It's definitely next level, and, it's for women that are just tired of grinding and tired of forcing and tired of following rules and tired of falling off the plan and having to get back on the plan. Like if that's where you're at, like you're probably a good fit. And we can see if you are a good fit once you apply. So the link is in my bio if you want to apply, if you want to get on the interest list. Otherwise, just send me a text message or a DM, and we can chat and see if you're a good fit. So hope that helps you guys, and we'll see you later.